Some are healers. Some communicate with the dead. Some read minds. Some predict the future. A rare talent, sure. But in the world's most psychic family, it's no big deal. Outside Minneapolis, amid a quiet suburban neighborhood, this normal-looking American family goes about their daily business, sitting down to a big family dinner. But the Bodines only appear to be your average family next door.
In the beginning, when the psychic thing started to happen, I thought it was mental illness, frankly, because hearing voices is not a normal thing in the 60s.
Of all the psychics that I know, I am the only one that is in a family of psychics.
The downside for me is just the way that people treat you, the information that sometimes you get. Like sometimes I'll be at a party and I'll get all this information about somebody and I don't necessarily really want to know.
The Bodines are a family of psychics, spanning at least 4 generations. May Bodine says she received psychic powers from her mother. May's children, Michael, Nikki, and Echo, have also inherited their abilities.
Where I saw the ghost.
The ghost of who?
It was just a ghost.
Well, what did he do?
He just stood there, and then I screamed, and he disappeared, and I ran into Echo's room.
Well, how old were you?
I don't know, 14 maybe?
It was before I saw a ghost, because I thought, how come she can see one and I can't?
Now May's grandchildren, Kurt and Bianca, are discovering powers of their own. Michael's daughter, Bianca, who is only 7, is part of the 4th generation of psychics. She seems to be growing into her paranormal abilities on a daily basis.
She knew when I was sick. She told her dad that I needed to go to the doctor. That was something I was resisting, but then I went and it was needed. But she's not comfortable with it. She's not, it's like a crowd around her. She's not exactly open to this.
Some have called it a gift, others have called it a curse. Whatever it is, the Bodine family has learned to live with it, through the good times as well as the bad.
Now it's okay. I don't have to prove a thing. But there was loss of marriage, friends, well, even financially, there was a loss because our whole life changed after this psychic thing came into our life.
Back in the 70s, people were afraid of us. People stayed away from us. They put a tag on us of evil or satanic. It started to change in the 80s, and now in the 90s, it's gotten a lot better.
I suppose it's a gift and all that stuff, but it's difficult for me to go into stadiums with a lot of people around because I can feel all their vibes. I can't sleep in another person's bed because I'll feel what they were feeling.
As far as everything else goes, we're just normal, and we have our dysfunctions, and we have our shortcomings, and everybody, you know, fights once in a while, and so the bond isn't because we're psychic or anything else. It's just a typical family.
It all started in the mid-1960s, when one of the Bodine children saw a ghost in the basement of the family house. Fear and curiosity eventually led May Bodine and her 17-year-old daughter, Echo, to a local psychic for some much-needed answers.
That night, I went to a psychic named Eve Olson, and she told me that I was born with psychic abilities, with clairvoyance, which is the gift of seeing visions, clairaudience, which is the gift of hearing, and I was born with the gift of healing.
Echo's gift of healing would prove true that very night. Once home, they shared the news of their session with the rest of the family. But May's husband, who was suffering from a severe migraine attack, was less than enthusiastic about exposing the impressionable teenager to a psychic. Echo asked her father if she could try to cure his headache.
I put my hands on my dad's head, and after about 10 seconds, my hands started to heat up like little heating pads, and they started to tremble a little bit, and I just kept them on my dad's head. After about 5 minutes, my hands cooled off, and I took them off my dad's head, and he said, well, I'll be darned if my headache isn't gone. There's been many, many times in the last 30 years where I have thought to myself, I don't want this. I've had many screaming matches with God about these gifts and why. Why do I have to have these things?
Echo and her brother Michael now work as a psychic team specializing in ghost busting. They both say they are helped in their psychic journey by spirit guides that are always with them. These spirit guides speak to them and advise them on specific situations, from healings to grocery items.
The fun part about being psychic is that my spirit guides work with me a lot, and so if I'm in a grocery store and I can't remember what I came for, there's been many times that I've had a spirit show up in an aisle in a grocery store saying to me, "Oh, don't forget the vanilla, don't forget the butter." Thank you.
While our crew was in Minneapolis, the Bodines were contacted by a local theater. They were having some unusual disturbances and requested the help of the brother-sister Ghostbuster team.
We have felt a presence up here, a male presence, and I think of him as being sort of wrinkled and really uncomfortable, wrought with a lot of sadness and grief. And I'm interested to see what you feel.
First of all, with ghost busting, you have to find out, first of all, if there's really a ghost. I think people's imaginations can go wild.
They describe all the symptoms, and then Michael and I walk through each room together. And, you know, we're both still skeptical, and we kind of test each other. I'll walk in a room, and I'll see a female spirit standing over in the corner. I'll say, "Well, bro, what do you see?" And he'll say, "Female spirit over in the corner." You know, so we really are validating for each other. Well, I can definitely see a male presence up there. Maybe we need to go up there and get a little bit closer.
According to the Bodines, the theater was extremely active with paranormal energy. But the main trouble was the male ghost in the balcony. It seemed he was refusing to leave and go to the other side.
There's a man right there. Right here? He's right there.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see him.
Yeah.
What's there?
He's right there. He's right by that thing that's coming out on my tail. But when you first look up and you see him, he almost looks like he's got on these long tails, black tails, and a white shirt.
Michael was having trouble communicating with the spirit and began cleansing the theater. Echo, in the meantime, worked on leading the ghost toward the light and out of the balcony.
All right, so Gerald wants you to just take everybody. Everybody's ready to go. Yeah, the ladies seem to be in the lead here. That's fine. Okay, yeah, just keep moving. I want you to see that light. Can you see that, can you see the tunnel over to the other side? I want you to go into that tunnel. Bye-bye. Yes, it was nice to meet you too. Yes. They're all gone. They're all gone, bro.
Well, that's good.
Just an ordinary day in the life of America's most psychic family.
I never used to think that this was genetic, but since I've had kids, I'm starting to think maybe there's more to it.
That's one of the things about my family is that we all kind of said, we kind of surrendered to our gifts and said, okay, all right, God, we'll make you a deal. If we can stay normal, we'll do it. And that's how all of us are.
I seek out normal things. My wife is very normal, and I like that. And my kids are very normal, except my daughter can see ghosts and stuff.
The Bodines may also be America's only professional psychic family. They charge between $40 and $60 an hour for their services, and they say business is just fine.